Automation is kind of the backbone of our businesses, right? It's moving our data, talking to our customers, basically powering all our most important workflows. But have you ever stopped to think about what happens when it just stops? Because a single failed workflow, well, it's not just some error message. For your business, it can be an absolute disaster.
So let's play this out. Imagine you launch a killer marketing campaign, and it's working. A flood of new leads starts pouring in. But then, the automation platform that connects your ads to your CRM just crashes under the load. What happens to all those new leads? They don't just hang around waiting. Nope, they vanish. Poof, gone forever. This is the exact dilemma that every single business has to think about.
Now, the common thinking here, the conventional wisdom, is to just trust the big guys. Platforms like Zapier. They're huge, they're professionally managed, they're built for this stuff, right? The assumption is that paying for a big, well-known SaaS platform is just the safest bet. But is it really?
And look, to be fair, that assumption is based on some seriously impressive engineering. These platforms use a sophisticated serverless architecture on AWS. Every little task runs in its own isolated function. It's all designed to auto-scale when things get busy, and AWS handles all the security. On paper, it looks totally indestructible.
And yet, even the shiniest, most robust systems have hidden cracks. They have these secret limits and assumptions baked right into their code, things that you, the user, can't see and don't know about. These are the black box problems, and they have a nasty habit of only showing up when it's way too late.
And this isn't some hypothetical scenario. This is a real error message pulled from a user forum. A simple workflow failed just because an email had a bit too much data in it. The platform hit some random internal limit, 12,000 bytes, a limit the user had no idea even existed. And right there, that's where the whole illusion of perfect reliability just shatters.
And here is the real catastrophe. It's not even the error itself. It's the fact that you are completely and utterly powerless. When you're using a black box system, you can't just go in and increase a limit or tweak the code. All you can do is file a support ticket and wait, while your business is basically dead in the water.
But what if there was another way, an alternative, that actually puts you back in the driver's seat? Let's talk about an architecture that you control, using a self-hosted automation tool called N8N, combined with something called Redis, to create what I like to call an indestructible queue.
Okay, so before we dive into how this all works, let's quickly talk about the key ingredient here, Redis. Now, don't let the technical definition scare you. Think of it less like a big, clunky database and more like a super-fast message broker. For what we're doing, it has one single crucial job: to act as a waiting room where our automation tasks can line up patiently before they get processed.
So here's how this simple idea creates a system that's incredibly resilient. When a new lead comes in, the main server doesn't even try to process it. Its only job is to instantly toss that task into the Redis waiting room and say, "Yep, got it." Then, totally separate worker processes come along and pull jobs from that queue, one by one, when they're ready. See? By separating the intake from the actual work, the main server can never get overwhelmed. It's genius!
Theory is great and all, but let's see how this thing actually holds up under some serious pressure. We need a good old-fashioned stress test to really see the difference between these two approaches.
So let's simulate a massive traffic spike, 10,000 requests hitting our system in just 1 minute. The standard architecture is going to try to juggle all of them at once. Our queue architecture, on the other hand, is going to use that Redis waiting room to calmly manage the flood.
The result for the standard architecture is, well, it's predictable, and it's catastrophic. The whole process is completely overwhelmed. It crashes. And the most important part, any of those requests that were in the middle of being processed, they're just gone, lost, forever.
Now, let's look at the queue architecture. It doesn't even break a sweat. It effortlessly accepts all 10,000 requests, placing every single one safely in the queue. The workers then just steadily work their way through the line until it's empty. The result? Perfect reliability. 100% of jobs processed. 0 data loss.
So an architecture this robust, this indestructible, it's got to be crazy expensive, right? Not even close. You can run this entire setup on a basic virtual private server for as little as $4 a month. Yeah, that's it. $4.
And this, my friends, is the self-hosted advantage. Instead of paying a per-task fees that literally punish you for being successful, you pay one low fixed cost. Your customers' sensitive data? It stays on your server, where it belongs, and you have full, total control to build whatever you need.
So let's just put it all together. With managed SaaS, you're basically trading control for convenience. But that trade-off comes with all those hidden limits, costs that scale with every task, and your data living on someone else's servers. With a self-hosted queue, you get an architecturally superior, more reliable system for a tiny fixed cost, all while keeping total control over your code and your data.
So the final question really is this. When it comes to the critical workflows that are the absolute lifeblood of your business, what do you prefer? The convenience of a black box that comes with a bunch of hidden risks, or the absolute power and reliability of an architecture that you completely and totally control?